You're listening to the official Reformed Stoic podcast, covering politics, philosophy, theology, conspiracy theories. I'm ready to get to the bottom of this life. Are you? Join Wolfgang, Sketty Squad, Purity Gang, as we strive to take dominion over this dying planet. I am Reformed Stoic, and this is my podcast. Ooh. Let's show it. Let's go it. Let's do it for the team. Do you know what I mean? Yeah, the gang is getting it. Let's get it. Root beer carbs. How's everybody doing? This lovely Wednesday evening, November the 30th. Real December hours incoming. Christmas movies ahoy! One of my favorite Christmas movies is definitely Love Actually with Hugh Grant. Hugh Grant is a Chad. High key. We used to have the comments over here. I think we can do this. There we go. We got the comments back up on screen. I'm doing all right today. Got a good little drum-in jam in. A decent little workout. 5 rounds shadow boxing. And then I set the timer for 15 minutes and did some yoga. Also hit my neck. I definitely made my first winter mistake. When we got that really big snow here, I needed to shovel. If I wanted to get any jump roping done anytime soon, if I wanted to have my heavy bag jump rope area, I needed to shovel Because now the snow is all like hard and kind of like frozen. So I definitely kind of screwed that up. But I'm thinking about kind of switching up my workouts a little bit lately. A little less jump roping. A little more yoga and just like lots of calisthenics. But anyway, not much of a label today for the show because I really just pulled up a smorgasbord of news. All kind of little thises and that's going on, but nothing especially special. The cats are running around. They're full of energy today. They liked the patty. I told you guys that I was worried about the Fancy Feast patty. Patty's when it's just like in a big plop in the can, and then they usually get like the beef chunks and the turkey chunks. But they liked it. They definitely like the beef flavor. So far so good with the cats. Anyway, no more beating around the bush. Let's go ahead and get it started. New segment. You're listening to the Reformed Stoic News segment. Let's go. Woo! Can't bring down this team. Let's go. Hey, how about donating to me and making this my job? Real. All right, first up, we got this lovely sweetie here with KPRC2, click to Houston, okay? Senate passes bill to protect same-sex and interracial marriage. Is it same-sex interracial marriage or same-sex and interracial marriage? You know, I'm going to need some people to red pill me about that. Was it ever... I mean, I'm sure it was once upon a time illegal to have interracial marriage, but have there, like, recently been states where it's illegal for interracial marriage? I wasn't aware of that. Let's get it.
Well, take a look right here. Same-sex couples are calling it a step in the right direction. Legislation that would protect same-sex and interracial marriage. The U.S. Senate passed the Respect for Marriage Act in a landmark bipartisan vote. KPRC2, Sabira Rayford, live tonight in downtown Houston with what this means for Texas.
Damn, I get some interracial marriage going with her, if you know what I mean. Oh, woo! Yeah! Oh, yeah, baby. Let's take me to Colombia, baby. Woo! Take me to Colombia, baby. I want to be that microphone. Okay, sorry.
Couples, Sabira.
Daniela, I spoke to a man who spent his career advocating for LGBTQ plus rights. He says this is a step in the right direction, but there's still a long road ahead.
Brad Pritchett spends his workdays fighting for equal rights for the LGBTQ plus community.
It's always push-pull.
And his off days, he's living through it.
Who thought that there would never be a day when LGBTQ people could get married freely.
The Supreme Court's 2015 decision in Obergefell v. Hodges.
Wait, what happened? We listened to it. We're good. We're hoodie.
Legalized same-sex marriage, changing millions of lives.
Actually being able to wear our rings and have a marriage certificate and celebrate with friends was really important.
But after the Supreme Court's decision to overturn Roe v. Wade, allowing states to govern abortion laws, the conversation turned to same-sex and interracial marriage. Jonathan Gooch with Equality Texas says if Obergefell was overturned, trigger laws would likely ban same-sex marriage in Texas. The Respect for Marriage Act offers some federal protections in this what-if scenario.
In Texas, marriages from other states would be honored under the full faith and credit, but...
I wonder if this guy is gay or not. You think maybe this guy's gay? Gay? All right.
They would be forced to leave the state to actually get married if that were the case.
He doesn't believe all equality precedents are equally at risk.
I think there is less of a risk of Loving versus Virginia being overturned. The focus of Justice Thomas's concurrence in the Dobbs decision seemed to really lean toward same-sex relationships.
Gooch believes there's still more protections needed for LGBTQ plus
Gooch
rights, but
I think this is definitely a win But it's important to note that we're far from the
And you know what, dude? You kind of look like Moby. So if you think about it, it's kind of a win for Moby, too. Let's get it.
finish line.
And President Joe Biden is expected to sign this act into law. Reporting live downtown, Sabir Rayford, KPRC 2 News.
You know what I was thinking, guys? All this liberal stuff. It just seems like for the last, I don't know, like 100 years. For the last, like, a really long time, as long as I can remember, the left is always, gay people don't got this, women don't got this, minorities don't have this. And by the way, I honestly, no flack, my brother from another mother. I'm not trying to, like, cope, you know, like, cover up that I'm racist. I'm not racist. Out of those groups, feminism, homosexual people, and minorities, I think minorities are the least annoying. Minorities are the least annoying. Let's go. But it's always gay people don't have enough this or that. Women don't have enough this or that. And, you know, minorities don't have enough this or that. Can we just, like, make sure that they're all good? Gay people, you need some drink refills. Gay people, are you good? You got plenty of potato chips and drink refills. You need me to, like, get your pillow ready. You need me to, like, hook up your VCR. Feminists, women, are we good? You got all your birth control pills. And what about minorities? Are we good? You guys got enough fried chicken and watermelon? I'm sorry. Is everybody good? Can we just, like, take care of the minorities? Take care, not take care of as in, like, bad. Not that kind of take care, not like genocide. No. Take care of as in, like, are you good? Gay people, you got what you need. Black people, do you have what you need? Feminists, do you have what you need? Are we good? Can we move on? Can we have a fucking week without hearing about gay people and women and minorities? Let's go! I meant that from the bottom of my heart. Can we just take care of you guys and then just... I'm sure we'll hear from you in like a week or two or like a month, but just like a month of everybody else. We've spent like 10 years making sure gay people are okay, making sure black people are okay, making sure women are okay. And like I said, black people are the least annoying. Minorities. Don't we love our minorities? They're great. Love them. Are you guys good? Can we have like a month of just not Democrats crying about gay people and black people and women? Let's go! All right. Well, hopefully that changed the world. Hopefully that speech changed the world. Okay, moving on. House Democrats elect first black leader. Man, let's go! We did it. Oh, we did it. We did it, my black friends. We got the first black leader, baby!
Congress in a sprint to meet key deadlines before the end of the year, today passing the baton to a new generation of leaders. House Democrats making history by electing Hakeem Jeffries as their new leader, the first black leader of either party in Congress.
But he's getting mogged by a woman. That's the problem, dude. I think this is like the KKK who did this, you guys. This is a setup. The KKK, all these people are feds in KKK. This is a trap, black people. Don't fall for it. He's getting mogged by a woman. Mogged by a woman. First black man ever mogged by a woman. I think it's symbolic for, like, feminist, Gnostic, black voodoo magic. It's a trap. No.
The least.
I just really can't care about any of this stuff today. All right.
The lost and the left behind. House Democrats fight for
He's not even black, dude. Okay, sorry. Let's just listen to it.
the people.
Jeffries will lead the caucus in the minority when Republicans take control of the House next year.
The joint resolution is passed.
And in a rare show of bipartisanship, the House today passing legislation to avert a nationwide rail strike that threatens economic calamity by grinding supply chains to a halt just before the holidays. The bill that imposes a labor agreement between rail companies and their workers now heads to the Senate.
We want to avoid a shutdown and be as fair to the workers as we can be.
But some senators in both parties are threatening roadblocks.
Why should the federal government force a contract on workers that they have explicitly rejected?
The workers' biggest sticking point, paid sick leave.
The unions, where the members voted the deals down, felt that this needed to be a part of any ultimate agreement.
The House approved a measure to add sick leave to the labor deal, and some Democratic senators say they won't support it without the sick leave. But time is running out. President Biden today
some Democratic senators, aka Bernie Sanders,
warning that without a final vote this week to avoid a rail shutdown, railroads will begin to halt the movement of critical materials like chemicals to clean our drinking water as soon as this weekend. All this as the threat of a government shutdown looms just weeks away. While negotiations continue over how to fund the government by December 16th, there is progress on another priority for this Congress, the House preparing to take up a bill protecting same-sex and interracial marriage that has now passed through the Senate with bipartisan support. In Washington, Alice Barr, NBC News.
I can understand black people being excited about, the first black this, the first black that. I'm pretty sure it was like, Bill Burr stand-up where he's like, they got a movie for everything. The first black Marine, and the first black swim team, the first black bobsledding team. And I can understand it, but man, oh man, is it a shame. Man, oh man, is it a shame when, like Obama, for example, he was the first black president. Like, damn, dude. Not a big Obama fan. Sorry. I don't know what to tell you. Error, try again. Mods, would you be a dear and ban Ralphie Johnson for me, please? He was on my naughty list for some reason. I'm having trouble banning him, which all the more reason for him to get banned. Okay, so yeah, this is all just kind of nothing burgers, dude. But yeah, it's a shame. Like Obama, first black president, huge criminal. Basically the end of like the comfy nostalgic memories of the 90s and the early 2000s is Obama's presidency. So not a fan, sorry. But hey, Biden's an old white guy, and I'm not a fan of him either, so why in the fuck can't we ban Ralphie Johnson, dude? That's pretty weird. Not bannable, huh? Cool. Totally makes sense. So why would somebody not be bannable? What exactly does that mean now? Doesn't that seem kind of weird? I've been live streaming for years now. All of a sudden, there's just somebody that you just can't ban them for some reason. Okay, I just hit refresh, and now I can't even see them. Cool. Right on YouTube. Yeah, now I can't even see him. Strange. Anyway, family urges online safety after catfishing. His profile doesn't even exist. Yeah, I refreshed and now I can't see any of his comments. So, cool, dude. Not sketchy at all. Totally nothing weird about that. Family urges online safety after catfishing. Yeah, so we went over this on Monday as well. Catfishing is being talked about in a very negative light. I've always known catfishing is just like, you're like a chud incel and not Chad. Like you have like some Chad account on Tinder, and then you meet this girl, and then you're like, yeah, you only date Chad. Nah, why don't you date me?
Alex Racine, yes, we are learning a lot more on this horrific case. Today, the Winnick family held a news conference to urge parents to use their tragedy as a heartbreaking lesson.
If something like this horrific tragedy can happen here, in our neighborhood, in our community, it can happen anywhere.
Holding back tears, Michelle Blandon makes an emotional plea after her parents, Sherry and Mark Winnick, and her younger sister, Brooke Winnick, were killed in what police are calling a catfishing triple homicide in Riverside.
Parents, please, please know your child's online activity. Ask questions about what they are doing and whom they are talking to.
Investigators say this man, Austin Lee Edwards, a 28-year-old former Virginia state trooper and newly hired sheriff's deputy.
Bro, this guy looks like a fucking incel. This guy just looks like yikes. Yikes! So this guy triple murdered people and he looks like that? Cool, dude. Right on, guys. I think everybody sees where society's headed at this point. And wow, I hope you guys enjoyed Austin Powers and Adam Sandler movies, because it's over.
Was active online, pretending to be a teenager to groom a young victim.
This horrific event started with an inappropriate online romance between a predator and a child.
Edwards drove from North Chesterfield, Virginia to Riverside, and on Friday, November 25th, detectives say Edwards arrived at the Winnick home, killed 69-year-old Mark and his 65-year-old wife Sherry, and their 39-year-old daughter Brooke. Then investigators say Edwards set the house on fire and left with the teenage girl he had developed an online relationship with.
We don't know yet if she was threatened, coerced. We're not describing it as a kidnapping at this point, but we also don't have any reason to believe that she was complicit in any of these murders or the fire as well.
A neighbor who saw Edwards leaving with the girl and noticed the house was on fire immediately called for help.
Making that call from that neighbor saved my niece's life, and that neighbor is a hero in our eyes.
Edwards was involved in a shootout with San Bernardino Sheriff's deputies while trying to flee. But the coroner's report states Edwards died from a self-inflicted gunshot wound.
Catfishing led to the deaths of the three most important people in my life. My dad, my mom, and my sister. They are forever in my heart, and I miss them deeply.
The family has set up a GoFundMe account to help the Winnick family, specifically the two teenage daughters who were left without their mom and grandparents. Now, that young victim that was targeted by Edwards is currently in the care of Child Protective Services, and we have been told that she is receiving trauma counseling. Her family and also police officers say this has been the most traumatic experience of her young life, and she has a long road ahead of her. Alex?
Okay, wow, that's bad vibes. Yeah, dude, if you don't realize that the social media dating app world sucks yet, you really just gotta wake up, dude. It's just really time to wake up. I'm just getting such a sense of, like, peace lately, just watching old stuff. I'm watching the show Undeclared. It was on TV in, like, 2001, 2002. It's a show about college and, you know, pre-dating apps, pre-social media. It just seems so much better, you guys. I never got to experience college without social media. I was blowing it on Facebook. I started, like, being weird on Facebook, but there's so many ways to blow it on social media. There's so many ways to blow it on dating apps. A lot of ugly things happening on dating apps. I mean, I was just saying the other day that, yeah, we used to have the chat rooms, you know? We used to have chat rooms, and predators would prey on girls, young girls, in chat rooms. And that's what the whole To Catch a Predator shit is. And the world's just, I mean, it's always been an ugly place, but I think it becomes more and more clear that the peak of peace and good times and all these things, arguably, you know, if you want to be a neckbeard, you can be like, I wish I lived in the 1200s. I wish I lived in 900 AD. I mean, there's a part of me that resonates with that. But basically, you guys, the 50s until Obama's presidency might have been, like, the greatest times to be alive. Boomers. The boomer times. The boomer times were probably, like, the best times to be alive. Oh, speaking of Discord, I have an updated Discord invite in my description. I will not be updating it for a long time. I get really annoyed. People are like, dude, it doesn't work. It's expired. If it's expired right now, then Discord, it's garbage. But, yeah. It should be good. Well, that's sad. That's bad news. I definitely want to be sensitive to that. What to expect as January 6th committee wraps up its work? A big, fat nothing burger is what I expect. Let's see what we got. Newsy. Interesting source.
The Select Committee to investigate the January 6th attack on the United States Capitol will be in order.
In a little over a month, the House committee investigating the January 6th attack on the Capitol will run out of time.
Our view has always been that this was a select committee that serves at a point in time only for this Congress. That has always been our focus and our goal.
But the committee has yet to release its findings in a final report that could include new details about former President Donald Trump's role in the violence as he begins a potential political comeback.
Nothing that goes down in Florida is going to affect our focus on that.
Trump is currently suing the committee and House Speaker Nancy Pelosi to avoid answering a wide-reaching subpoena for documents and testimony unanimously approved by the panel in October. Chair Benny Thompson and Vice Chair Liz Cheney made clear last week they would, quote, evaluate next steps after Trump's noncompliance. It's not yet clear whether the time-limited committee will refer contempt of Congress charges for Trump to the Department of Justice. While hailed by its members as a bipartisan effort, all members of the committee, including Republicans Liz Cheney and Adam Kinzinger, were appointed by House Speaker Nancy Pelosi. Several members of the committee will not be returning to Congress next year. Republican Vice Chair Cheney and Virginia Democrat Elaine Luria lost their midterm re-election bids. And two more members, Illinois Republican Adam Kinzinger and Florida Democrat Stephanie Murphy, did not seek re-election. Regardless of when the committee wraps its investigation, at least one probe into the former president's role on January 6th will remain ongoing.
The Department of Justice has long recognized that in certain extraordinary cases, it is in the public interest to appoint a special prosecutor to independently manage an investigation and prosecution.
Special Prosecutor Jack Smith is now charged with leading a Department of Justice investigation, which in part is looking into whether Trump or his allies attempted to block the certification of the 2020 election or impede the transfer of power. Another effort the former president says he does not support.
This will not be a fair investigation, but again, I thought this was all done or very close to being done. These people are corrupt, and yet they go after innocent people under the guise of legitimacy.
And while the January 6th committee is winding down on Capitol Hill, the special counsel's open-ended investigation just beginning to take shape. Nathaniel Reed, Newsy, Washington.
Let's read a couple of comments here, and let's turn off autoplay. I don't like autoplay, unless I'm taking a nap. Expect a second one where Nancy has to answer why they didn't have more security. Looks like it worked. I just want to take a moment and give special thanks to Gen Z, progressives, and women voters who understand that having abortions, defunding police, unchecked crime, runaway inflation, out-of-control spending, devaluation of the dollar, and providing sanctuary for illegals was far more important than anything else in this past election. I hope this is sarcasm. Without your well-thought-out and practical votes, we could never have the amazing culture of lawlessness that we have now. Thank goodness you saved democracy. Exactly, Gold. Dominion machines are way more to blame than Gen Z. Dominion machines. Right. Classic, but your comment is too long for Gen Z to read. I know it's a lot of millennials, too. But maybe Gen Z's worse. I think Gen Z's women are worse. All right. I've been expecting absolutely nothing based. This guy's based. What a joke government is. Cool. Well, we've been all up and down that. Adam says that New York City will treat mentally ill even if they refuse. Yeah, I liked this headline. The mental health industry you will be helped regardless of whether or not you comply. Resistance is futile. You will be cured of your mental illness. I think the government and politicians are criminals. You will be cured of your mental illness.
El Minuto.
What's up, y'all? I'm Ashley Chaparro, and here's the latest news from our area. NYC is taking bold action to get the mental health crisis under control. The mayor announced that the city will be hospitalizing people struggling with mental health issues even if it's against their will, and only if they show violent tendencies or are unable to take care of themselves. The city is also developing a phone line that will allow police officers to consult with clinicians. Up next, if Canal Street is your one-stop shop for counterfeit goods, I got bad news for you. Officers hit the streets on Monday and confiscated thousands of fake luxury items. Prada, Gucci, Louis Vuitton, $10 million in knockoffs. 17 people were arrested and they were each charged with trademark counterfeiting, which is a felony. In merrier news, today marks the start of the holiday season in NYC. The Rockefeller Center Christmas tree will be lit at 10 p.m. You can see it in person, although it might be raining and cold, or...
Let's Rockefeller Center it. That's what Christmas is all about, Rockefeller.
Hear me out. You can watch it from the comfort of your own home on NBC New York. We start our coverage at 7 p.m. And don't forget to catch our World Cup content on Telemundo47.com. That's all for today. Check back in tomorrow to stay up to date.
Telemundo. All right, getting a little bit of that Latin flair. Kind of a nothing burger, honestly. Gonna treat mentally ill even if they refuse. Max K. I got better ideas than you, dude. If that's really you, I just thought I should say that. Like, you always talk to big game, like you got ideas for books and comics and this and that, but you ain't really about shit, brother. You see what I built here? You see this channel that I built? You see what it means to be about something? Maybe you'll understand one day, my young brother. Maybe you'll understand one day, little brother, what it means to be abouty. All right, guns, self-defense, and the Christian. Wretched. We kind of like love to, I don't want to say hate this guy around here, but I think a lot of people kind of like roll their eyes anytime we pull up something from this wretched guy. He's kind of growing on me. He's not the worst person in the world. Let's wretched it. Guns, self-defense, and the Christian.
Exodus 22, 2-3. Bible's really clear. Somebody comes into your house and you hit them with a rock and it kills them. You're not guilty of anything. That's what it says. Luke 22, 36-38. Missionaries, we got to keep our context in context. Missionaries could take a sword. So it would appear having a weapon of self-defense, it certainly wasn't to kill converts or people who don't convert. It was to protect yourself as a missionary. Matthew 5, we've got a verse that a lot of people use. I think the Amish would be inclined to use this, maybe Quakers, maybe Mennonites, that we're supposed to turn the other cheek. Many people have concluded that that actually means you cannot defend yourself. You need to let somebody do to you whatever they're going to do because of that verse. I would like to suggest in context a couple of things. That it's not a verse about self-defense. It's about when somebody offends you, when they insult you, when they come after you with snarkiness. It doesn't mean that somebody's going to slap you. You can't put yourself up, but if somebody's going to insult, like the French do with the glove, with an insult, that you can let go. You're a Christian. Go ahead, insult me. Your words are not going to kill me. I know who I am. I know what my position is. I know what my afterlife is. I don't think it has anything to do with self-defense. Now we get into some of the indirect verses, and there are a lot. John 18, 10-11. Malchus, if you remember, Peter, just trying to defend Jesus, cuts off the ear of the servant of the high priest, and he's told to, hey, knock it off with the sword business, and some people would conclude you shouldn't ever use a sword. I don't think so. Husbands are to protect their wives. Now, it doesn't say with weapons, but we're the stronger ones. We're the ones who are supposed to make sure that our wife and kids live in peace. Paul sometimes fled when there was danger. Paul sometimes stayed when there was danger. From the Bible, I learned that life is precious. I learn about Imago Dei, that we're created in man's image, and life is precious and it should be protected. Israel used weapons. Now, some people would say that America is Israel. We are not. What do we learn from this? Just the same, a principle that carries forward into our culture.
I've always been surrounded by people who never did shit with their lives, trying to belittle the things I do. That's more subs than you'll ever have. That's more attention than you'll ever get, buddy. And that's why you're sitting here seething behind your mom's computer.
Culture and context that God's okay with people using weapons. Now, you might argue that's just for the military. Okay, I'll grant you that. But just the same, God does not automatically say that guns are sinful in and of themselves. Furthermore, there's no commandment to not defend yourself or use weapons. I know that's an argument from silence, hence the indirect column. The sixth commandment, thou shalt not murder. But we also need to remember that if somebody does murder, what happens to them? They get killed. There's a big difference between murder and killing. Murder is the knockout game and you kill somebody. Killing somebody is putting them on trial, discovering they're guilty, and then sentencing them to death because they murdered. Killing, murder, different. When you're a soldier, you kill, you don't murder if the war is just. We've also got our Romans 13:1 that we should obey the government. Two thoughts about that. It's the government's job to protect from the bad guys in general, but furthermore, we want to obey the laws of the government. And so if the government says you can't have guns or you can't have them here or there, I've got to ask myself the question, is having a gun a biblical right? Because if I can't conclude that the Bible says to not own a gun is a sin, then I've got to obey the government. Did you catch that? The Bible is really clear. If the government tells you don't preach the gospel, you can disobey the government. If the government tells you to sin, you can disobey the government. But if the government has a law that you just don't like or that it's not a favorite thing, if the Bible doesn't say that it's a sin, then I think that we need to submit to the government. So there you have, without your presuppositions, direct and indirect, but we've got a few steps to go to determine guns, self-defense, and the Christian next.
Cool. Well, you know, I'm getting that vibe today of like, oh, no comments. Great. Let's get some closing thoughts here because there's a lot of nothing burgers today. Wednesday is on the chopping block, and today's Wednesday, and hey, today was pretty uneventful. Not that we've never had good Wednesday podcasts before, but I got some things on the horizon. Wednesday's going to be on the chopping block. We're going to go down to Monday in review or something. Maybe do like a Sunday podcast earlier in the day or something. That's right, Ricky Shirt from Trailer Park Boys. Let's go. Crypto scammer. I just don't really care, dude. Somebody yoinked some crypto money, rug pulled. It's just another nothing burger, dude. I don't know if I have enough of an appetite for more nothing burgers today. A whole lot of nothing. Everybody just keep fighting the good fight. Everybody just keep fighting the good fight. Keeping good spirits. Still a lot of scumbags out there in the world trying to bring the real ones down. I tried streaming that game last night. It was whatever. I'm probably just going to play that off stream for the most part. If I even feel like it. It's kind of whatever. It's a nice little old game, but it's very repetitive and tedious. But that's all for today, guys. Pretty bare minimum. Pretty whatever. It's not my fault that the world is boring right now. Targeted Tony. I do not. I'll check him out. God bless you, my friends. Have a great day, and I'll see you next time.